The Lockheed P-38 Lightning remains one of the most recognizable and influential fighter aircraft ever to cut through the skies, and even in 2025 its legend continues to inspire aviation fans, model builders, and warbird pilots alike. What makes the P-38 so enduring is not just its striking twin-boom silhouette or its wartime reputation, but the combination of innovation, daring engineering choices, and heroic combat stories that have accumulated around it for more than 80 years. When audiences encounter the Lightning today, whether in restored form at air shows or through documentaries and simulations, what they see is far more than a vintage fighter jet. They see a machine that pushed boundaries, reshaped aerial combat, and carved its own distinct place in aviation history. Designed by Lockheed engineer Clarence Kelly Johnson, the P-38 represented a radical departure from conventional single-engine fighters of the late 1930s. Its twin Allison V1710 turbo-supercharged engines provided not only raw power but also unprecedented reliability for long-distance missions. The central nacelle held the cockpit and the armament, a layout that eliminated the need for synchronized guns firing through propeller arcs. Instead, the Lightning mounted its weapons, a 4.50 caliber machine guns and a 20mm cannon directly in the nose. This gave the aircraft unparalleled concentrated firepower and accuracy, allowing its pilots to deliver deadly bursts at long range without worrying about gun convergence. Above all, Johnson's design targeted speed and altitude, making the Lightning one of the fastest fighters of its generation, capable of exceeding 400 miles per hour at a time when many countries were still operating biplanes. During World War II, the P-38 distinguished itself across multiple theaters, but nowhere more than in the vast skies of the Pacific. Its range, boosted by drop tanks and efficient engines, allowed American pilots to escort bombers over distances that would have been impossible for most Allied fighters. This unique advantage meant the P-38 became the aircraft of aces. In fact, America's top two aces of all time are Richard Bong with 40 victories, and Thomas Maguire with 38 both flew Lightnings. Their successes were due not only to skill but to the combination of speed, climb rate, and heavy nose-mounted armament that let them strike swiftly and powerfully. Pilots often spoke of how the engines gave a sense of security during long missions. If one failed, the Lightning could still limp home on the other. Many returned safely from hostile territory thanks to this very capability. One of the most daring and historically significant missions undertaken by the P-38 was Operation Vengeance in April 1943. U.S. intelligence discovered the itinerary of Japanese Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the architect of the attack on Pearl Harbor. Executing a precise, high-risk interception over hundreds of miles, a squadron of P-38s successfully shot down Yamamoto's transport aircraft, striking a symbolic blow that boosted Allied morale. To this day, the mission remains one of the most famous feats of aerial tracking and execution in military aviation. Beyond combat, the P-38 also had a cultural and symbolic influence. Its appearance, linear twin booms, a central fuselage, and a sleek former made it instantly recognizable. Wartime posters often used the Lightning to symbolize American technological might. Its reputation spread through stories told by pilots, ground crews, and journalists who marveled at its innovative design. Even enemy forces respected its capabilities. Japanese pilots frequently referred to it as the fork-tailed devil, a nickname born from fear and admiration. In Europe, the P-38's story was more complex. Although its long range made it an obvious candidate for bomber escort missions, early models struggled with cockpit heating issues and compressibility problems during high-speed dives. Engineers eventually solved many of these challenges, and the P-38 went on to serve effectively in reconnaissance roles. Its ability to carry cameras in place of guns made it a formidable tool for gathering intelligence, and Lightning reconnaissance units played pivotal roles in mapping enemy positions before major campaigns. These unarmed missions demanded incredible courage from pilots, who braved enemy defenses without the ability to fire back. By the end of World War II, the Lightning had proven itself not only as a fighter but as a multi-role aircraft ahead of its time. Its versatility foreshadowed the modern concept of adaptable airframes capable of excelling in multiple mission types. Even after the war, surplus P-38s were converted for civilian use, mapping remote regions, performing aerial surveys, and racing in air competitions. Although newer jets soon replaced prop-driven fighters, the P-38's advanced design ensured it would never be forgotten. In 2025, the P-38's presence endures through restored warbirds, museum exhibits, flight simulators, and cinematic recreations. Modern air shows occasionally feature Lightnings performing graceful flybys, their twin engines producing a distinctive, resonant roar that connects present-day audiences to the aircraft's wartime heyday. Restoration groups devote years of effort to preserving these aircraft, often piecing together surviving airframes or salvaging wrecks from remote mountaintops or jungles. Each restoration becomes a tribute not only to the engineering brilliance of the original design but to the pilots who flew them and the ground crews who kept them airborne under harsh conditions. What captivates today's viewers most is how the P-38 bridges past and present. It represents the era of mechanical ingenuity, when engineers relied on slide rules and intuition to design machines capable of extraordinary performance. At the same time, its sleek shape and aggressive power still feel futuristic. For YouTube audiences fascinated by aviation, the Lightning offers everything: daring heroism, groundbreaking engineering, dramatic stories, and a visual design that remains stunning even in the age of advanced fighter jets. The P-38 Lightning is more than a relic. It is a symbol of human innovation and the relentless pursuit of speed, power, and precision. As long as there are aviators who dream of the sky and enthusiasts who admire machines that push the boundaries of possibility, the legacy of the twin-boom Lightning will continue to shine. Its place in history is secure not simply because it was a successful warplane, but because it embodies the spirit of daring that defines aviation itself.